Introduction. Greetings, meatbags. Candy is constantly harping on how much money she should be making from her short stories, so we thought we'd take a look at her most recent to offer some semi-professional feedback on why people aren't forking over money to her. This one is called From One Cult to Another, Timberweed Short Stories Edition, Volume 51. Note, for copyright and potential privacy purposes, some names and details have been changed.
This is the story of Sammy Scammy. She's currently being pursued by the Red Triangle cult, and they do all sorts of mean things to her. From getting her banned at hotels and eateries to threatening physical harm. Note for Candy, why are they after her? Readers will want to know.
Plot point, everybody favors the cult.
This part is a tad confusing. Evidently, the Red Triangle cult failed to successfully get her, so she fought false charges in court, and the judge turned her over to another cult. Sure sounds like the cult's got her, at least from our reading anyway.
Also note she went from present to past tense and declares AA to be another cult without saying how or why.
Things really start going off the rails here. Judge Dude Sweet orders her to Beverly Hills for mental treatment, because naturally, mental health work can only happen in expensive Californian suburbs. And of course, the evil cult wants her to have a taste of free luxury. Because reasons, Julio Cesar Chavez takes her in an unidentified limo to the Timberweed building. Nothing is described in any kind of detail except Julio's dreads and skin shade. Evidently, she's assigned to a set of handler couples, people in relationships whose job is to monitor Candy. She says she's supposed to have 2 sets, but she only describes one couple. Barely. Likewise, the only details we get about the building are a small, dim, cold room. That's it. Anyway, on to the cult stuff. She was taken to Mary Jane's office where Tina Turner administered tests. Tests which Candy also fails to discuss in detail. Details are hard, y'all.
Side note, writers don't use emojis, Candy.
Anyway, she introduces Davidia and Dave, one of the couples. We get no description, and apparently they argue a lot. About what? Ask Candy. The couple give her clothes, dinner, and rules. Only the food and clothes are described, and the latter includes a rather large amount of underwear. As stated, she forgets to even mention the second couple. She then reflects on the day and wonders if the mix of pleasure with pain is what they meant by MK Ultra. So far, the only pain we noted is they didn't have anything to drink with dinner but water. The story talks about court visits and a psychiatrist, again, with very little detail. Then all of a sudden, the doctor's nephew uncovers all his dirty laundry after an argument. Again, what they argued about is not even mentioned. The nephew and his friend free everyone. The doctor and original judge are discovered to be part of the cult and forced to resign, which doesn't make much sense. Earlier she said everybody supported the cult, but she didn't mention that actually changing, which is just horrible storytelling. Anyway, she gets a new judge, one that has her back and basically makes all of her dreams come true. No more psychiatry, no more cult, and she even magically lost all her weight. Does anyone else feel like this level of writing is on par with a children's bedtime story? There is so much wrong here, we hardly know where to begin. Well, the type of story itself seems logical. This isn't an adult short story, it's not even close. Even with very large font, she's looking at maybe 3 pages. Maybe. When we think of adult short stories, we think titles like An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge by Ambrose Bierce, about 15 pages with large font, or
The Langoliers by Stephen King. The latter is more like a small book. The former story does changes in tense properly. Candy's story starts out in present tense, then goes to past tense for the rest, which means the happy ending happened in the past, and she is currently still being stalked. On a basic literary level, that's just fucked up.
The basic truth here is nobody wants to pay for such a shitty story that would take the average adult less than 5 minutes to read. Especially by itself, it would be like selling pamphlets. The plot is vapid in the extreme. She doesn't give any details about why she's worth being pursued and made to, quote-unquote, sell out. By skipping over the testing and not offering any actual dialogue, we're forced to have to fill in the blanks ourselves. For our meatbags part, it seems like the logical conclusion is that this is less a work of fiction and more the wild fantasy of a rather slow-witted human being. If Candy wants people to take this crap seriously, she needs to either step up her game a lot or step up acting mentally handicapped. This way people might give her pity money. That's really the bottom line here. For an adult with a college degree, this is trash. For a special needs adult with the brain of a child, it's out fucking standing.